This is Dominic Holtz coming to you from Rome, Italy, with a word of hope for the Friday of the 33rd week in Ordinary Time. What is a temple for? Why is there space, or for that matter time, set aside for God alone? It's not for God, surely. God is everywhere, and if we can say such a word, every when. There's no where or no when that God isn't. Temples or feast days are not for God, but for us. They're not for places that God can be, but places that we can go, and in going there and being then, spend time for God and God alone. That's why in the gospel today, the money changers in the temple pose such a problem. It's not that the money changers are doing a thing that's deeply wicked in itself. They're actually doing a very important sort of public service. There were people coming from all across the empire to Jerusalem, and they had money from all across the empire, different monies, different coins from many different lands. Someone had to exchange them so they could pay the tax they owed to the temple, to buy the things they needed to buy. The temple acted as a bank so they could deposit the large amounts of money they brought from them if they came from such a long distance, or an experience many of us who travel know, to break up large coins into smaller ones. It wasn't a bad thing they were doing in itself. The problem is that the money changers had set up shop, so to speak, in the very courtyard of the temple, in a place that was meant to be set aside for God alone, set aside to be a house of prayer for all nations. And in doing that, they forgot the very point of the temple. The point of the temple, not that God needed a place sacred for him, but that we needed a place that was set apart for God, so that we could honor him in the way he deserves. Brothers and sisters, do we in our daily lives set aside times and places for God? Do we leave those times sacred? Do we spend certain times in the day or times in the week that we've set aside as times for prayer with God? Are there places in our home or in our hearts where we do not do other things, no matter how practical or good or helpful they are, but really set those times aside so that we, who are the temples of the Holy Spirit, the living temples of God, might clear out the courtyards of our lives, and hearing the preaching of the Word made flesh, like those people in the temple long ago, cling to every word that comes from the mouth of God. And this, brothers and sisters, is a word of hope.